I am hoping that YouTube will work with me here. Why it is not. Hang on. Orientation is locked. Can y'all see me? Ooh. Give me a second here. I'm a little frustrated. There we go. Rotate device back. All right, everybody. I think so. All of the social media right now is messing with me. There we are. Yes. So, in fact, both Facebook and YouTube are completely messing with me today because I had both of them set up to be horizontal. And of course, both of them want to be vertical. So, if you'll just allow me a moment to get this situated. I'm about to just give up on social media. I'll tell you what. It's frustrating. Because I would so much rather be out in my garden than dealing with this nonsense. Can you see me? Hi! Alrighty, everybody. I'm Mary from marysheirloomseeds.com, and I try to go live here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Today's a little different. I was going to go live in the garden, but it started raining. So here I am on my patio, enjoying this beautiful, hot and humid weather here. If you are just joining me for the first time, welcome. And for those of you that join me regularly, welcome back. I was just live on my Facebook page for Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and I had a lot of information to share. Hey, Alan. So you're working the late shift. Hey, Mood and Bladen, thanks for joining me. Today's a little different. I wanted to go live on both channels because not everybody follows me on Facebook and not everybody follows me on YouTube. And of course, literally on both channels, I had it set up to go so that you could see my little setup here. And neither of them want to cooperate with me today. So I try to go live on Thursdays, just on the YouTube channel. I had my setup all ready to go, and Texas decided that it's going to rain, and we had 0 chance of rain for the next 10 days. Agape Field says I made it. It's been raining here in Southeast Texas. Too wet to play in the garden. So it was not supposed to rain, and I went out to go get set up, and it started pouring. So I thought, well, whatever. We'll just chat underneath the patio, and I've got some information to share here anyway. So in the description section of this video, you will find links to awesomeness. First is marysheirloomseeds.com. Then is my September seed sale. It's massive. If you missed my recent video that was not live, I discussed how I fix compacted soil in my raised bed. And so the 2 things that I used in that bed that we offer is the extra large coconut core bricks and mountain flower root boost, and both of those are available at marysheirloomseeds.com, and both of those are on sale this month. So definitely check those out. A couple announcements. The Egyptian walking onions are sold out. If you missed it and you wanted to get some, I might have a handful of them available in October. And I want to share with you this awesomeness. I planted these August 29th, and today is September 5th, and they're already popping up out of the soil. Super exciting. So I don't normally put root crops in containers. However, as you saw with my raised bed that I'm working on, well, actually multiple raised beds, but the one that I used in the video, it was rock hard. It was cement almost, not quite cement, but it took a lot of effort to get the shovel in and move some of that soil. So I don't normally disrupt the soil of my raised beds, but in this case, it had to happen because there's no way I was able to plant anything in that bed and have it produce. In fact, I already had stuff planted in there, onions that I had grown and transplanted as sets. Nothing. The sets were still in the soil. They were not able to move their roots down into the soil to actually produce something. So that is a really important reason why I was digging up those beds, and that's why I put these in containers. So generally I don't put root crops in containers, but this case, it was awesome. See that? Look how cute that is. So if you missed out on the Egyptian walking onions, I will have more available, a very, very, very minuscule amount in October. What I wanted to talk to you today, hey, Esther's Daughter's Garden, thanks for joining us. What I wanted to share with you today is a lot of updates and as well as garden Q&A. So if you've got questions, feel free to ask. If I missed your questions, send me an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. First and foremost is my school garden donation program. I started my school garden donation program in 2011, which was the same year I started marysheirloomseeds.com, because I felt that it was that important. Not everybody grows up on a farm. Not everybody grows up with experience in gardening. There are a lot of people, grown people, kids, adults, elderly, even maybe, I don't know, that don't know how their food is produced. They don't understand the value of what we're eating because they've never had the opportunity to grow something. So when I started marysheirloomseeds.com, it wasn't just like, hey, I want to make some money and do whatever. It was more so that how can I work on something that will give back to the community, and not just my personal community, but the growing community as a whole. So at marysheirloomseeds.com, we have grown from one Title I school back in 2011 to over 150 nonprofit school gardens, elderly gardens, veterans gardens. If you operate a VFW garden, reach out to me. If you are a teacher or you are a school garden coordinator, reach out to me. The subject line needs to be school garden donation program. Send me an email with what your school is growing, what you'd like to grow. Some teachers just reach out and they say, hey, I want to grow a pollinator garden. And some people say, hey, I want to teach my kids about what to grow. What's the easiest thing? And I send them a couple packs of beans, which is literally the easiest thing to do. And some people say, well, I'm feeding my entire community and donating to a food bank for people in need. And obviously they're going to get a very large package from me, because if you're telling me that you're helping feed the community and feed homeless shelters or just people that need food that don't have access to it, I mean, I feel very fortunate. I'm going to go kind of soapbox here. I feel very fortunate that I can grow food. I have the experience to grow the food, but also that I have never lived in what is called a food desert. But I know about food deserts. I know that there are people that live in an area that don't have access to fresh food. Friend in Hawaii, I know that the imported food is very expensive. It's very difficult. And so I sent her a box of stuff. I know her from when I used to work for my dad in San Diego. She worked at the beach. She was a massage therapist there, and she's now moved to a homestead in Hawaii where she can give her daughters a better chance at life. And I was like, lady, let me send you some seeds, because that is so important that you teach your kids and teach your daughters how to grow food so they understand not only the value of food, but also how it works. So that's my soapbox for tonight. My school garden donation program is now reopened. I was going to wait until November 1st, but I've decided that it's now more than ever, more people need to grow food, and especially those of us who can do something to help people in need. Now more than ever, I feel led to do something like that. So that's that. That is one of many of my announcements tonight. As I mentioned earlier, Egyptian walking onions are now sold out. I will have more later on in October, but you have to send me an email, because I may not even announce them on my website. If I have a waiting list of people, they may just go. We offer 25% off radish seeds. So it's this is an awesome one. The discount code is RAD25, and you use that at checkout, and you're going to get 25% off all radish seeds right now. It's hot. It's warm. It's super muggy here since it rained a little bit. So if you haven't already, check out my reusable stainless steel tumblers. These are hot and cold. You can put coffee in them. You can put iced coffee in them. You can put water. Right now I have water with a splash of herbal tea and lemon juice. Keeps me hydrated. It's fun. It's awesome. The Blessed Home said, hey, Mary, I did a soil test and found out my raised bed soil is very high in phosphorus and potassium with trace nitrogen. What is the fastest way to add nitrogen for fall planting besides blood meal? Great question. I'm not sure why you're adverse to using blood meal, so that's a good question. If you go to marysheirloomseeds.com, we have a couple of options for nitrogen, but honestly, blood meal is your best option. It really just depends on what you are looking for. You don't want a high nitrogen fertilizer. For fall crops in particular, I mentioned this in my video about fixing the soil. Leafy greens and root crops, they don't need high nitrogen, so it really depends on what you're looking for. When all else fails, I use Mountain Flower Root Boost, and that was what I posted in my video. It's not a high nitrogen supplement, so you'll just have to give me a reason for, just give me an idea of what you're looking for. I will try to, sorry, I'm not stumped here, but I also want to, oh, you're a vegetarian, gotcha, not a problem. If you have access to, sorry, my brain is fried. It's been a really long day. I'm really sorry, the Blended Home said. So you're vegetarian and you don't want to use, what do I have? So we have fish bone meal and we have fish meal, and I'm not sure what the nitrogen content on is those. The kelp meal is not high nitrogen, and neither is the alfalfa meal. The Blended Home said, can you do me a favor and send me an email? My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. You have me stumped a little bit, but I want to offer you an option. I have a vegan fertilizer on my website. It does not contain animal products. So if that's something you're looking for, it is not high nitrogen. It has a moderate level of nitrogen, and I'm not a huge fan of high nitrogen. Someone asked me about something called 20-20-20. Hey, Krista, thanks for joining us. For those of you just joining me, we don't do politics here. One of the awesome things that my customers have mentioned to me is they don't know where I stand politically because I don't share that information, because it doesn't freaking matter as far as your garden is concerned. So I don't, it really doesn't matter where I stand politically. I don't condone any, or I don't allow actually any political posts on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel for that matter. So if you want to talk about, hey, there's this bill that is directly affecting our food, we'll talk about that. If you want to talk about party specific politics, not interested. Why? Because my garden doesn't have a political affiliation. So the Blessed Home said, check out my vegan fertilizer. It's an all-in-one. It doesn't have a high nitrogen content, but it will help. Cottonseed meal. That's definitely an option. However, you need to make sure that whatever cottonseed meal you're using, if you are trying to be organic and you're trying to be non-GMO in your garden, you don't want to add cottonseed meal that isn't organic, because a huge amount of cottonseed in this country is genetically modified, and it's also horribly saturated with chemicals, fertilizers, herbicides that you don't necessarily want in your garden. But if you have a specific question and you've got me stumped, which doesn't happen very often, please send me an email to mary@marysheirloomseeds.com and I will help you. I know there's a lot of great information out there. I prefer to use compost as my #1 garden soil amendment. My Mountain Flower Root Boost does have animal products in fish fertilizer and fish bone meal, so it's technically not vegetarian, so that may not work for you. But I'll definitely help you. I do want to be able to answer that question for you, and maybe next week I'll expand upon that as well. Alrighty, everybody, so what else do we have on the menu here? Hey, Nancy, thanks for joining me as well. I want to talk about our loyalty points program as well. A couple people reached out to me, a couple customers actually reached out and said, what is it? How do I figure it out? And how do I redeem my points? So if you have placed an order in the last couple of months, or at least in the last year, you may have received a secondary email that said, hey, you have points. I want to assure you that we don't sell your information. That comes from an app that we have worked with that does not sell your info. I taught everybody, gotta stay hydrated. There are several ways that you can earn more points. And those points, once you get to it, can be applied towards future orders as a credit, as a discount, as a, $5 off, 25 bucks off, 50 bucks off, depending on where you're at. You can actually earn additional points by signing up for the account, liking us on Facebook, subscribing on YouTube, Instagram, and even writing a review on our website for items you purchased. So let's say you purchased 5 seed packs. You received them, so you signed up, you ordered it, and now you're planting it. And you're like, oh my gosh, now I have points. Oh my gosh, now these seeds are germinating and they're awesome. So say you go back to our website and you write reviews. Once you are already signed up for the program, now you're getting points just for reviewing items that you've already purchased. Krista says, what is known for eating an entire crop of radish? Krista, you are in my area and I can help you. There are several things. You have cutworms, which are a brown worm. You have okay, so I made a mistake. I thought they were tent worms, but they were not. And it was something else. And Krista, you're in my area. And I actually contacted my local extension office because they asked that we did. There were little teeny, it doesn't matter if they're in containers. They will get to your containers. I have containers over here and I found cutworms in them as well. There are 2 types of worms that were eating my plants. The cutworm is a more brown one and the other one was more green. And I apologize for not remembering what it's called, but I'll probably remember it by the time I'm done with my video. So worms most likely are the culprit. The next one is grasshoppers. We've got little brown grasshoppers and we have massive yellow grasshoppers. They're huge. Moonbladen says, when will you have your grab bag sale? The grab bags are sold out. So I announced in an email in August that we had grab bags available and we sold out in a couple of, maybe a week. And then I announced on September 1st that we would have grab bags again. I posted on Facebook, YouTube, and I sent out an email, and we are completely sold out for 2024. So we have no more grab bags left. Krista says we have our yard organically sprayed once because of those darn grasshoppers. I'm telling you right now, I have not found anything that works on the grasshoppers. There was something that was available from an organic company that I was going to try and they were sold out. So I have no idea. Moonbladen, if you haven't already signed up for my email, I stress this every time. Sign up for the email. In the description section of this video is a link to my email list. And I send out emails twice a week, whether it's a sale, whether it's a seed announcement. Today, wasp, woo! Today I sent out an email about the Egyptian walking onions because I wanted to share the information about growing them because a lot of people purchase them and I wanted to give them information. Krista, most likely I would say it's either a cutworm or it's a grasshopper. Those are very, very common. Krista says, any potatoes this year? Very good question. If you're interested in potatoes, I will make them available, absolutely. So that is one thing that's on my list. Usually we ship them in October, around the same time we ship our garlic, so I can definitely do that. All right, so I got a couple of extra information to share with you tonight. If you missed the Egyptian walking onions, these were red. I will have white available in October. I already shared with you about the school garden donation program. Yes, I should have potatoes. Now, I have a question for you. Did you watch my recent video? It was not a live chat. It was a video about fixing my compacted soil in the raised beds. And I'm pointing this way because that's that garden. This is the main garden that has ready to go garden beds. Those are established garden beds. This one way over there has brand new garden beds. And as I mentioned in my video, not live again, it was Esther's daughter. That's right, you sent me an email. It was compacted soil to where I tried to, I know, Krista, you're starting over again. Trust me, this garden bed I started in March. And when you start a new garden, it doesn't matter if you've got 20 years of experience. Hey, Christian, it doesn't matter if you've got 20 years of experience. You're starting from scratch. It doesn't matter how awesome you are. You can be a master gardener. You can be a beginner gardener. You can be a master gardener who's also a beginner gardener. Or you can be like me, Mary at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, who is starting a new garden. And every time you start from scratch, you are building your soil from the beginning, from scratch. And you need time for your soil to produce beneficial microbes. There's beneficial bacteria, there's not so beneficial bacteria. It's a web of awesomeness, literally, in your soil. It's a live soil. But in this case, I had completely compacted, felt like concrete. And if you watch my video, I'm kicking my foot in with my shovel and I'm pulling it out. I made it seem a lot easier than it actually was, because that took my weight to push down there and move it over. Are ants beneficial? No. Usually ants will farm aphids. So generally, if you have ants on your plants, you have aphids. So Christian, if you pull up your leaves, say it's an okra leaf or a squash leaf, and you pull it up and you've got a bunch of ants, chances are you have aphids, because they farm aphids for their honeydew. So if you watch my recent video on updating my compacted soil, you will see that it was hard work. I actually had to take a break, cool down, refill my water, and then go back out there to finish my video. But each garden bed only took me about an hour to finish from start to scratch. But it was also kind of hot. It was almost 90 degrees. So that was kind of one of those things where you got to pace yourself when it's that hot. The coconut coir and the mountain flower root boost are staples in my garden. My soil mix, by the way, if you have any questions, shoot them out there for me. If you have any questions and you're missing this, or it's a replay, you can send me an email to Mary at marysheirloomseeds.com and I will try to answer. Every week I share helpful information, but today is just a Q&A and what's new at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. Garlic will ship out a little earlier this year, and I will have a couple extras, so you can always send me an email and see if you want to be on the wait list. So these garden beds are so much better. Krista says, do you sell those big chunks of coconut coir you use? Absolutely. So in the video I posted, in the description section, you'll find a link to the extra large coconut coir bricks. If you live close to Benwheeler, Texas, Krista said, I'm not sure that you live closer to me or if you moved farther away. I do offer pickup if you are close and if you schedule an appointment. And the shipping on those is much higher, but it's worth it because they are massive compared to, I was going to bring one out with me and I just forgot because it was raining. And if you know anything about coconut coir, if it gets wet, it goes. So yes, we sell the extra large bricks. We sell 3 sizes of coconut coir bricks, and the extra large is the best value. Even after you pay shipping, it's fantastic. Sorry. Well, either way, reach out to me and I can give you a more accurate quote because you're close to me, close-ish to me. Texas is a big place. We all know that. So anyway, so those 2 things are a staple in my garden. I really highly recommend it. It's super easy. The rehydrating process is super, super easy. So if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. We have a September seed sale. We have a September seed giveaway, which is massive. It's my birthday month, so I always have like literally the biggest seed sale and the biggest seed giveaway ever in September. And I know it's a lot of people aren't necessarily planting this month. I am. It's a massive planting month for me because it's about to get cooler here. We are looking at the lows in the 50s recently coming up in the next couple weeks, and I am so excited. So I'm planting radishes, I'm planting rutabagas, I'm planting beets, my favorite. Krista, my birthday is September 11th, which is next Wednesday. And I will be live here on Thursday. I was considering taking the week off, and I thought, whatever. You guys can join me when I'm live, and we can all chat and have fun. Every year I think about my grandfather on my birthday because his was the 12th, and he always gave me a hard time that I was too impatient, and I just couldn't wait a day. And actually, in fact, I was born 3 weeks early on the 11th, and his birthday's the 12th. So Esther's daughter says my daughter's birthday in September, and she'll be on her honeymoon. Oh, awesome. So yeah, I celebrate my birthday for the entire month, and usually it's a massive seed sale because I absolutely love offering a seed sale, and the giveaway is massive as well. So definitely check it out. So you have a seed sale, you have a seed giveaway, you have 20% off all radish seeds, and you got a chance to win some stuff. And obviously, as I mentioned, the coconut core and the mountain flower root boost are on sale. So that being said, I'm about to be done. I just had an ant biting me. I don't know if you know anything about Texas, but everything tries to bite you here. I had a feral hog in my backyard the other day, and I was like, this is why I paid the extra money to have a massive fence built. Candace Carter says, are there any flowers, medicinals, or ornamentals that you recommend planting now in Zone A? So I don't go by zones. I will just tell you that right now. I go by frost dates because frost dates will tell you when you can plant. Someone was like, well, I'm in Arizona and there's like multiple zones. If you use the Old Farmer's Almanac and you enter your zip code, that will tell you your specific frost date. You take that frost date and you count back. However many days will tell you how many days you have to plant before everything freezes. So it really depends. Right now, my frost date is November 12th. So if I figure that you have all of September, October, and half of November, so that will give me roughly 70 to 75 days to plant things out in my garden. So that means, like I said, I'm planting rutabagas, radish, turnips. I'm planting beans, bush beans specifically. I planted melons like a month ago, so maybe they'll produce, maybe they won't, but I'm just winging it here. I planted cauliflower, I planted sprouting broccoli. There's so many things you can plant. Check out my fall planting guide. So in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my comprehensive planting guide. In that guide, you'll find a zone specific planting guide by month. You'll find a region specific planting guide by month. You'll also find my fall planting guide. Or you can go to marysheirloomseeds.com, use that search option there, and just enter fall planting. And that will give you a breakdown of 90 days, 60 days, and 30 days on what to plant based on your frost date. Hey, Obsessive Gardener from Northeastern California, welcome, and thanks for joining me. I'm about to sign off before the ants get me because, like I mentioned, in Texas, the ants bite. And I actually have a scar on my hand from the ants. Not very fun. All right, everybody, check out the links I shared with you. If you have any questions I didn't answer, my email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. Hit the thumbs up, please. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And once you do that, go to marysheirloomseeds.com. Sign up for our rewards points. Those rewards points will get you credit for your next order. It's awesome. And you may already follow me on all these places and you just haven't earned the points yet. So go ahead and do it and maybe get some free seeds on your next order. All right, everybody, happy Thursday and happy planting.